Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new. Today I have a super exciting announcement that I've been waiting to share with you all for a while. So I will be hosting a thriller readathon at the end of the month. I will be co-hosting it with some of my favorite people here on BookTube, Care from Caroline Johnson, Nicolee from Bon Bon Reads, and Sarah from Sarah's Shelves. And all of them love thrillers, and we decided to do a readathon dedicated to thrillers or horror novels. A lot of these prompts work for horror novels as well. The name of the readathon is the Thrills and Chills Readathon, and our official hashtag is thrillsandchillsathon. So if you post on Instagram, make sure you do that hashtag so we can have all the pictures in one place. So this readathon will be taking place from April 19th to the 28th. So we wanted to give you enough time if you want to complete all the prompts or if you just want to complete some of them. So we made a bingo board that I'm going to put up on the screen right here. And basically the goal is to get a bingo or, just do as many prompts as you want. Nicolee made a Discord server for all of us, so I will be leaving the invite link in the description. So I'd love if you joined there and chatted with us over there about thrillers and the readathon. And also, I will put all of the prompts and the information in the description box below, as well as putting it all on my Instagram story and in highlights. Alright, so I'm going to go through the prompts right now. So, the first prompt is deserted, and that is to read a thriller in an isolated setting. The second prompt is backstabber, and that is a relationship gone wrong. So this could be a friendship or a romantic relationship or really anything you want. The next one is guilty, so reading a thriller in your favorite subgenre. Then it is gaslight, read a thriller with an unreliable narrator. Nail biter, read a 5-star prediction. And finally, split, a thriller with a multiple POV. All of these prompts are so exciting and I just can't wait to start reading. So I thought I'd share with you my TBR. So I'm going to grab my laptop and I have it all written down on here and I'm going to go through it. So my first book for the TBR is for the prompt Deserted, and that is an isolated setting. For this, I chose The Venue by TJ Payne. So I wanted to read actually the description from Goodreads because I think it just describes it perfectly. So it says, "Welcome to the venue where the super rich can get away from it all and get away with anything they want. You're invited to Caleb Hunt's wedding. Sure, you haven't spoken since you two had a falling out in high school, but Caleb has gotten over that. He's a forgiving person. It was all a misunderstanding. He credits you with turning him into the man he is today. He wants to repay you and everyone else in his life with an invitation to his destination wedding," which is the isolated setting. "An all-expense paid trip to a luxurious resort high in the Alps, secluded and private. Please RSVP. It's sure to be a killer party." So this sounds absolutely incredible. I'm so excited to read this book. It's been on my TBR for a while, so I will definitely be getting to that. For the next prompt, Backstabber, I'm going to be reading My Sister the Serial Killer, and I've heard some really good things about this book. I believe this is about a woman whose sister is a serial killer and she actually covers up her crimes, and that just sounds like a really interesting book, and it's really short. I believe it's only like 200 pages, so I thought it would be perfect to throw in this readathon. For guilty, I'll also be reading The Venue because isolated settings is definitely my favorite thriller subgenre as of now. For my 5-star prediction, I will actually be reading They Never Learn by Layne Fargo. Love this cover. I actually got this in my Thriller Book Lover box and I've been wanting to read it ever since, and I've heard people raving about this, that it's such a good book. This is about an English professor who actually tries to find the worst man at her university and murder him every year. So that immediately grabbed my attention. I've read some raving reviews on Goodreads and I really can't wait to read this. I don't really know anything else about it, but I wanted to go in blind. For Gaslight, which is read a thriller with an unreliable narrator, I chose Pretty Little Life by Darby, Kane, and I don't know for sure if this is an unreliable narrator, but it gives me the vibes that it may have an unreliable narrator, so I chose this one. This is about a woman who lives in a college town, and a few people have gone missing over the years, including her husband. Now, the catch is she was the last person to see her husband's body, but now he's missing. So this sounds very, very intriguing, and I'm really, really excited. Nicolee actually really loved this book. We were going to read it as a buddy read, but then I just got overwhelmed with everything going on with my recital coming up. but I am definitely going to read this book for this readathon, and I'm very excited. For Split, I will be buddy reading The One by John Mars with Sarah, and I'm so excited. This book has been on my TBR for a long time as well, and this is a lot like a Black Mirror episode, the premise. So the premise is you take a DNA test and you're matched with your soulmate, and I know it has multiple POVs, and I can't wait to read this book. For the Get Out prompt, I don't really have anything yet, but I will keep you all updated if I choose something for that. So now I want to move on to some of my personal recommendations that I have read for prompts if you want some ideas of what to read for each. So, for the first one, The Deserted Isolated Setting, I would strongly recommend The Guest List. I know it's a polarizing book. Some people absolutely love it, some people hate it. I really enjoyed The Guest List. Also, you could read The Hunting Party, that is also by Lucy Foley, and some people prefer that and some people prefer The Guest List. So The Guest List takes place on an isolated island, and The Hunting Party is out in the middle of nowhere in the snow. So it kind of just depends on what you prefer, and that would be my first suggestion. My second suggestion would be No Exit. It reads super fast. It almost feels like a movie, and that takes place deserted at a rest stop in the middle of a snowstorm. And then I'm thinking of Ending Things, which also kind of deals with the snowstorm. So I'm not going to explain the synopses for all the books I'm mentioning because I want to keep this video short and sweet, but I highly recommend those books for the first prompt. For Backstabber, I would recommend Behind Closed Doors by B.A. Paris. For Guilty, for your favorite thriller subgenre, I would definitely recommend reading Verity if you're into romance. It's definitely a dark romance and it's pretty twisted, but I would recommend that book. If you really like psychological thrillers, there's so many recommendations I could think of, but the first author that comes to mind is Gillian Flynn. Absolutely love all of her novels. If you really like courtroom scenes, I would recommend The Good Daughter or The Night Swim. If you really like YA, I would recommend Sadie or A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. For Gaslight, for an unreliable narrator, I would recommend The Girl on the Train, as well as The Woman in the Window, even though the author is horrible, he faked cancer. For Get Out, I would recommend either the Stillhouse Lake series, because she is definitely running from her past. Her husband is a serial killer and the stakes are super high in that book. I highly recommend it. I feel like it's so under talked about on BookTube. And then The Wife Upstairs has a little bit of that element running from the past. For Split, for multiple POVs, I absolutely love this in thrillers. So I would recommend The Guest List again, because there's multiple POVs, as well as The Hunting Party. I just personally didn't like The Hunting Party nearly as much. The Kind Worth Killing, and Verity. I would also highly, highly, highly recommend Confessions. You all really need to read that book. It is so good and it has multiple POVs. So I hope you all join this readathon. I would love to have you here as well as my other co-hosts. We're all just so excited to do this. This is going to actually be my first readathon that I'm hosting, so it's a little bit of a milestone, and I just love thrillers. It's my favorite genre. It has been for years, and I cannot wait to participate. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.